focused on why we are here. Do we know why we are here? Just a young lady, any young lady, do you know why we are here? Any young lady? Nobody wants to say a word? I'm not going to put you on the spot too much longer. Anybody go once, going twice, going once, going twice, going twice.
Maya, you always have something to say. Now you have nothing to say.
Nah, girl, I ain't got nothing to say.
All right, well, let me just share with you again. Darcel told you that the women that came out here to support you, whether it was a mom or your auntie or your grandmother, whoever brought you here today, is because they care that much about you and what you are developing into. So whenever you come to settings like this, take advantage of whatever the jewel is, whoever is speaking, because we are here for you. If you didn't know, it was about y'all today. It was about y'all. We got out of our beds to come prepared to be here for you. One of the sisters just got up here and spoke about the black movement, how black women don't stick together. And you guys go to school and you see a lot going on in schools. And I don't want to turn this into a racial conversation, but you understand that everybody talks about black people, right? Let's not pretend that we don't know. So what we want to discover in our journey, however old we are, the sooner we can discover our purpose, we won't become one of those whoever's talking about. The young lady who just spoke in reference to, knowing who you are and being okay with who you are. But understand, in that, there are still people who are looking for you to make a difference. You want to know why? Because in the 70s, when the movement was going on, had it not been for those civil rights activists, we all would not be having the voice that we have today. So now that everybody's coming out from under everybody's coming from everywhere to start talking about black people again. They're even hanging black people in some states. Do y'all know that? So now that the cycle is going around and it seems like history is trying to repeat itself, we got to understand that where do I stand in the village? Who am I in this village? Am I one of those ratchet chicks that everybody's talking about? Do I want to be the statistic where I'm a baby mama of this one and that one? Maybe I got 3 different baby daddies. Not to talk about anybody who may have gone through that. But what we are talking about is us right here. Anybody in here with 3 kids? Any one of y'all little kids got kids? No. So that's why I feel comfortable enough to talk about this topic. I want you to understand that you have purpose.
Absolutely.
Whenever I was young, I'm going to tell you, there were so many people in the village that poured into me. Whether it was a teacher who took extra time to let me know, sit up straight, pull up your shirt, or whatever it was. You guys know you have teachers who tell you what to do. Get to your class, do your homework, they telling you these things. Why? Because you think they just want to talk? They are relying on you. You're going to carry the mantle. You don't understand it now, but you better get on board, because when the sister was talking about the things that's going on in government, a lot of that stuff is to exclude you. They're not trying to include you. So you need to understand that we are relying on you. A lot of adults dropped the ball. Let's call a spade a spade. Absolutely. Some of us got caught up in the partying and the hanging out and doing all kinds of things that we should. We didn't take our roles as responsibly or handle it as responsibly as we could have. Now we're in this situation where everybody thinks they can talk about the black girls and the black boys, but they ain't worth nothing. They don't know nothing. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to get nothing. All those things that they're talking about. But who are you in the village? Are you one of those that they're talking about? And then it's to a certain degree, I don't care what anybody says about me. To a certain degree, that is true. But because I know there are people relying on me, I do care a little bit about what people think about. How do I represent my people? How do I represent my family? How do I represent my children? And like when your mother tells you you're going to school, you better not be doing this, you better not doing this. When your mother turns her back and you go in to do all types of things. I can speak from my own experience. I won't put any of y'all out there. There were things that were revealed to me about my children, and I'm like, don't you know better? The things, I will share this with you. I said to myself, earlier this year, sometime in June, my daughter decided she was going to run away from home with her boyfriend, her boo thing. I would have never expected my child to think that this was something you would want to do it. You want to wild out. You want the life on the wild side with the boo thing? I would have never expected that. because it caught me so blindsided, I said anytime I'm speaking to a young lady, or if I have an opportunity to speak to another young lady, I'm going to ask her, what is your purpose? Do you think that God created you to be running around with some little knucklehead who don't really care about you? Who does not really know himself enough to even identify with your jewels, your beauty? Do you think that God created you to be somebody's girlfriend, baby mama, chick on the side, one of his girlfriends? The purpose that I was talking about. Do you know you have purpose and none of those are your purpose? Do you know this? Because I know that for myself, I spoke to my daughter. I thought you would know better. I thought you would know that this is not the thing I would expect you to do. What would it be that would cause you to get off your course with your purpose? Acknowledging God. I gave you guys these worksheets only because I knew we were going to be, this time is of limit and I can't go through every step. But I wanted to share something with you guys that my father shared with me when I was a little girl. And let me say this, my parents were addicted to drugs most of my childhood, and we were about to be in foster care, but my grandmother stepped in. So I give hats off to everybody who takes out or who alters their life for their grands or their nieces or their nephews or their little cousins, because it's not your child, but you understand in the village you're needed in that way. So I'm reaping the benefits of everybody who knew that they were needed in my village whenever I was going through things. And this is not to bash my mom and my father, because thank God they both are clean and sober over 20 years, and I would not change my parents for the world. I would not. All of the experiences I had with my mother and my father, nobody could have given me that. Okay? So on that note, if you are living with another loved one, understand that you better honor that individual, because they don't have to do it. They don't have to be there for you. They don't have to step up and do that for you. So while you are in this developing state, understand there is a God. God created you for purpose, and whatever he thinks you need along your journey, he's going to find a way to get it to you. When you get it, you better know that this is nothing but God and at work. There's no such thing as coincidence. Not one thing that occurs in your life is a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that you're here today. It's not a coincidence that you heard all the things that you heard today. There's not a coincidence that you're thinking about, well, what is my purpose? Because all of us don't know our purpose. But don't think you're too young to try and figure out what your purpose is. Don't wait till you're having children or the boyfriend that got you pregnant and now you trying to, what do I do, welfare, home? No, we're not doing all that. Enough of the welfare and waiting for the Section 8 and all. How about we start planning our lives right now so that we don't have to fall in a certain category? Again, government is not looking out for you. They're trying to find a way to exclude you out of everything and put you right here in one group, and then you have to rely on them for everything. So on that note, while we are here, I wanted to say the Serenity Prayer. That's the best thing my father told me. I really didn't know it or really fully understand it until I was older. But the Serenity Prayer, anybody know the Serenity Prayer? God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the things that you can't change. We are not going to waste time on the things that we can't change. The courage to change the things that we can. What can you change? If you had a bout or a bad experience, a bad reputation or whatever, you can change that. It takes courage to turn away from the knuckleheads that you used to smoke weed with. It takes courage to walk away from the boyfriend that used to call you all kinds of whores and bees. It takes courage to walk away from that. Courage to change the things that you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You need to know the difference between the things you can change and you can't change. You are a black young girl. I'm saying that because I can freely say that because in this room we are all black. So I can speak freely. Out of respect for any other race, I'm not speaking about other races because I know the importance in my village, how my young black girls, young black sisters need to hear somebody informing them that you have purpose. That you are not going to be just a number. That you're not going to be somebody's baby mama. That you're not going to be a statistic. That you're not going to be a dropout. That you are not going to be one of those chicks that just go through boy, or have all the boys go through you. Do you know how little girls are doing these days? Yes. And oral sex. They just think it's nothing to do with oral sex on anybody.
What is that?
What is that?
What is that?
You did not say that, and you're not playing with me.
I don't know what that is. I'm so serious. I do not know what that is. What is that? I'll put that on everything. I don't know what that is.
Look it up. Look it up.
Your grandmother is here. Grandma, I think you're going to have to speak with her later. Right? Guys, that's not really. Do I tell her what it is?
Tell
Grandma,
me.
share with her. Yeah, grandma's going to talk to you, okay? So listen, I want to leave y'all with this. 2 minutes. I want to leave y'all with this. How do you discover who you are when you got everybody in your ear? Let's go to the basketball game. Let's go to the club. Let's go play whatever. How are you going to discover who you are when you're always running? Take a moment and understand, I need to figure out what are your goals, your aspirations. You're never too young. I meet so many young entrepreneurs. You're never too young to start dreaming and making those dreams come true now. I left my card on the bottom because I wanted to invite whoever wants to speak at an event. One of you young ladies, contact me. We're going to be hosting an event for young girls. And I wanted to invite young girls who has the courage to speak about whatever the topic is. You decide. I don't know all the issues with young girls. So I'm looking for somebody who doesn't mind telling me or sharing with others about issues concerning young girls. So I left my information on the bottom. You can find a way to contact me. Parents, you can let your parents know. Parents can contact Darcel. Darcel can get in touch with me. But anybody who would like to speak and encourage another sister, another little girl. And think of this right now. You have so many friends who are involved in so much. You may be just the light that God wants to use to speak life into another broken child. So because God is relying on you and entrusting that job to you, you can't be afraid to speak life into somebody when you know somebody. Somebody mentioned about suicide rate. Sister Fran was mentioning that. There are a lot of kids killing themselves. Some little girls are killing themselves over boys. And that social media stuff, understand this. Would you ever want to say something to break somebody's spirit to the point that they want to jump off the bridge? If you don't never want to be that, then that means you are a person that can speak life into another individual. All of us have the power to speak life into another individual. And don't think you're too young to speak life into another individual. So on that note, anybody, again, contact me because we're going to be doing something with young girls, and I would love to help anybody, or I encourage you to get out and start speaking, because once you start encouraging others, God is going to find a way to bless your life. Okay, guys? Y'all have a blessed night. That would be it.